Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is KAOS Chaos Party Radio's very own, the Hooligans. You know damn well who we be. What's up? We're back, baby. What's going on, people? How y'all doing? Hey, yo, we are here today with some video game chat. Now, first and foremost, we're hanging out at the one, the only, the Aces. DangerCombo.blogspot.com. Hanging out at his place, trying out Street Fighter X Tekken. So that way when we go and hang out at the arcade, you know, I won't get my ass whooped that badly. Let's just face it, this nigga know what he do. I don't though. He's currently busting out Team Guilty Pleasure, which is already turning me on. My God. Poison and Jury. Just period. So, having played this game already, Ace, hit up the good peoples. He's gonna whoop up on Team Fats again. Got fucking Rufus out. His mouth all over. And the bear! Team Booty Stank. So he's got Team Booty Stank out, Team Big Bubba. But Ace, why don't you hit up the people with some of the actual technicalities of this rather than me just rambling? What is good with Street Fighter X Tekken? SFXT.
Well, let's just start with the basics. You know, if you want to get technical, when you just watch this game in action, you can tell that there's the same sort of strategy, the same sort of forward thinking that's necessary like when you're playing Super Street Fighter 4, for example. You know, you have to be at least 2 steps ahead in that sort of fisticuff style chess game. However, with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, you know, seeing as how this is a crossover game, those usually tend to be a hell of a lot more fast-paced. I mean, think Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Ultimate, of course.
And then add to it the chess game style thinking that's required for Super Street Fighter 4, and you've got the basics. Now, from a visual standpoint, seeing as how this is Capcom's entry into the Capcom and Namco, you know, crossover compilation, it's Street Fighter 4 style. So you're going to get the more anime, the more Street Fighter 4 style character designs and movements, which, as you can see from how some of the Tekken characters translates, it looks pretty damn good.
Hey, I'm not complaining, man. Of course, I'm looking at Poison, not Kuma, so that doesn't help either.
Of course that doesn't help.
I can't help it. She has... Oh, shit. Those shorts are disappearing. It's like she's wearing dental floss. I like this. I'm down with this. Oh, and Rufus's boob physics, you know, breast jiggling is as animated as always. Of course, you gotta start with Jury laughing. And the foot fetishist flies. So, they got this gem system in this game. What is that all about, yo?
Now, the gem system has sparked a good deal of controversy ever since it was first announced.
Oh, I've been reading about that shit, baby, on certain websites we will not name.
But basically, the gems act kind of like the ability cards in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Heroes and Heralds. I mean, they're not necessarily an integral part of the game so much as, say, if you have a character like Jury, who's fast as all get out. We are talking metric fuck tons of speed here.
Well, we're also talking about Jury here, you know, the most overpowered nerf bait character ever invented this side of Shoto anyone.
Well, needless to say, she got nerfed a little bit in comparison to Super Street Fighter 4. However, for a character like Jury, again, damage output for single hits isn't always her strong suit. So you can actually outfit her with 3 gems, which, after fulfilling certain conditions, like connecting with a certain number of normal moves or specials, can actually increase her attack power for a brief period of time, thus covering her damage weaknesses while still helping her maintain her speed.
So from what I'm hearing is that basically the gems will overpower your ass. Because, come on.
Not quite.
I need to break it down to Guilty Gear because you know how I am about that. I know I got the $5, you got the Iska, we'll talk about it later. But you didn't hear about that, folks. Guilty Gear Iska, I got it. I will be online whooping everybody's ass with my chip EX soon enough. I got $5. Oh, Merry Christmas. I'll open it up later and then masturbate. Now, as far as this goes, though, once again, it's like Chips Enough suddenly getting combination unlock where each hit does the same amount of damage no matter what. No dwindling damage per hit. And fucking getting Potemkin-style fucking defenses.
That's where I have to stop you short just a little bit. As far, again, more technical info as far as Street Fighter Cross Tekken. the damage scaling in this can be pretty harsh. So even with the attack boost from the immense power gems, the longer your combos go, the scaling is going to come into account pretty heavily.
And you know how I feel about that shit, man. My chip game, baby, my chip game.
So you can still go for some rather extensive combos if you've got the setup right for it. But the damage is going to scale, and again, the effects of the gems only last for a certain amount of time. And this is just like level 1 gems. Those last for like maybe 10 seconds. Some of the level 2 and level 3 gems actually come with penalties once you trigger them. Like say, you get that power boost, but you actually take a hit in your movement speed, or you take a hit in how much damage reduction your character has. So you'll actually take more damage for that speed boost or that power boost.
So what I'm hearing is that it's more like customizing your character depending on how you like to play.
Exactly.
Because you're willing to take some negs to get them pros.
Exactly. And at the same time, it's still also not just customizing your character, but again, customizing them so that you can ideally cover for their weaknesses, or at the very least, fine-tune every aspect of your character to your particular play style. So just like they advertised when the gems were first announced, no 2 Juries, no 2 Ryus, no 2 Steves, no 2 Jins are going to play exactly the same.
Because you just basically like labeled off the top 4 anyway right there. So it'll be interesting, because there's nothing worse than getting on to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and seeing everyone is using Team Trenchcoats or Morrigan cheesy eye attacks. God damn, baby! That's the one called Dom, isn't it? That's the super called Dom. Just whoop that ass.
Oh, another thing about character customization, you can not just customize the gem loadouts for your characters. I mean, you can say that's where there are 2 different loadouts per character, and you pick which one at the character select screen. But it even goes so far as to allow you to actually, label the gem loadouts, so that way, at the very least, for you yourself as a player, you can think, okay, you see that name for the gem loadout, you know exactly how you want to play and what you need to do in order to get those bonuses, or in order to, at the very least, make sure that you can hold on to those bonuses until, bam, you want to all of a sudden bust out the X Factor and make that comeback.
You know, I mentioned it earlier, but I gotta say it again, without trying to sound like I'm a bear fetishist or some shit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, the things I would do to her. But, the jiggle physics on Rufus is really impressive. I do gotta point that out. Like, my God. That ain't full of fried chicken. That looks like it's made out of jelly. That ain't even cool, man. Now, I do gotta admit, the backgrounds look slick as hell. I don't even know what the hell's going on. It looks like a psychokinetically controlled mammoth, big tusked mammoth at that, chasing a hovercraft, which is in turn chasing your battlefield. I'm just saying, it looks lovely. It looks good.
Actually, that mammoth, well, let's just say it gets worse.
Oh, shit. Gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. Well, is there anything else you need, if you feel the need to bust out right here and now as far as the technical aspects of this game?
Well, for those that actually don't have the game already but do want to pick it up, like I said, this is Capcom's entry into the compilation, so it looks and plays like Super Street Fighter 4. You've got the classic 6-button layout. The Supers, however, are mostly set up Marvel vs. Capcom style. So instead of doing double motions, like double twitches, or like say doing double twitches or doing the back forward, it's just the one motion, like say for Juri Senpusha, her pinwheel kick. Just do that one motion with all 3 kicks.
Oh! And then gaze in loving admiration at her midriff. I mean her feet. No, for me it's her midriff. That's just... Oh my God. And then you got Poison, who, oh my goodness. Where is she hiding the bulge? You should be able to tell with clothes that skimpy. Legs for days. I'm suddenly in the mood for an 80s music video at this point in time. My God. Stop that fool! He's over here doing these taunts and whatnot, making her jiggle. This bastard.
And this is exactly why earlier I switched over to Team Crunk Juice.
Because you knew damn well I was going to be coming over and be like perving out on that shit.
I was already. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to hide it.
There we go.
But anyway, let me take you on a bit of a tour of Team Watch the Hands, Watch the Feet. Now again, we have Hao Rong, the young Taekwondo prodigy from Tekken 5, 6. Well,
TKD represent.
Oh, he's been in the Tekken series since 3.
Yeah, he's been around.
And then we have the British boxer before there was the British boxer, Steve Fox.
Wait, Steve Fox came out before Dudley?
I believe. Wait. No, never mind. I take that back. Street Fighter 3 did come out before.
Gotcha trash and all that other good stuff. Hey, yo, that reminds me. Hey, let's talk DLC. Our 3 most hated letters on the Hooligans. I don't care what this character here says. I hates me some DLC. I hate the idea of day 1 DLC. Fuck you. Fuck your clique and the set you claim. Fuck your block. Fuck your grandma. You know what? Fuck everybody who ever loved you for even coming up with the idea of DLC. That's fucked up, man. Oh, Team Fats, Rufus and Bob. Fat Hero.
Actually, let me put Rufus first.
You just like beating up on Rufus for some weird reason.
Damn right.
Hey, I heard Jack got nerfed on his size. That he's actually kind of like not that big anymore.
He's not, hulking robot big. He's more like Sagat's height, Zangief's muscle mass big.
Geef.
So still pretty damn big.
No, that's cool. But he's not Jack big though. He's more like a mini Jack at this point. But the thing is, Jack has always been fucking huge. And now, can you imagine like a screen full of Bob, Rufus, Jack, and Zangief? Oh my god, that is too much man for one screen. So the throws look pretty sweet. Yep, that's while running, alright. Yeah. He's got his dive kick, that's cool. Wait, did he have a dive kick in Tekken?
Nope.
I'm an idiot then. Oh, okay, well shit. So they gave him a Chips Enough style dive kick, but just no drills. But he still got his good old kick combos at least. Yep. Now, is there any off the ground kind of shit with this game?
Ask and you shall receive.
Well, it certainly does. Well, it certainly does look like it.
It's supposed to go 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Uh-oh. Oh my. Axe kick from the heavens. And for a second super. And directly into Steve's fist. Oh, into the Dempsey fucking roll. Love it. You gotta want it.
Now, much like in Tekken 4, 5, and 6, Steve...
There's more mammoths in the background.
Steve, as a boxer, technically, he doesn't have kicks per se. When you hit the kick buttons, you go into either one of his weaving techniques or his forward spin, which can lead to various follow-ups.
Which optimizes his fucking defensive capabilities from what I'm seeing.
Meanwhile, you can actually link from one weave to the next, pretty much doing an infinity configuration, kind of a Dempsey roll startup weave.
Yeah.
He also has the various boxer stances that you can take up, like the flicker stance, which can go into the rapid jabs.
Awesome.
And there are actually EX variants of it as well.
Ooh. Natural 3-hit EX.
And OTG juggle capable.
Son of a bitch.
Now, forward in all 3 kicks puts you in the peekaboo stance, which gives you access to his ducking hook, which has a lot of hit stun on it once it connects. He has a rising elbow, which gives you a good amount of juggle. And then there's just ouch.
The 3-hit combo. Fuck your shit. All up in your mug! Wait, was that a projectile? Oh shit, he's got a projectile. Boxing Fury! So yeah, and he has a projectile. And for what it's worth, I'm pretty certain all of you out there in Internuggets land do know what a peekaboo stance is and the flicker jab stance, or the hangman stance. But let's just say it's the peekaboo stance when you got both fists up near your mouth so you can see over it. It's good protection against, a lot of things, a lot of different attacks, except for the sides, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And of course the forehead, but hell, you gotta have a strong forehead to be in something like that anyway. The other one is when you have the one fist up next to your head for blocking, but the left one's hanging slightly, and at a 90-degree angle, so to speak. It's meant for quick loadouts for a jab and such. Now, if there's any boxers out there who want to actually say, "You're wrong!" Well, hey, by all means, step up to the comments and say something. I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. Shit. Boxers represent. Not that I box, oh hell no. Hell no. Does Muay Thai count as boxing, Ace? I think it does, doesn't it? It's like Thailand boxing?
It counts as a form of kickboxing in a sense. So
well, it is kickboxing. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hooligans. Discussing various points of martial arts and video games since 1996.
Now,
yeah, actually.
Now back to the subject of DLC.
Oh yes, we were about to discuss that. There's still mammoths in the background and they're headbutting each other. It's just I find it very testosterone-laden. I like it. It's cool. So DLC. What is going on with the DLC? What is the nuggalish words on it?
There are 12 additional characters on the disc as DLC. Numerous hackers have already been able to crack the code on this bad boy so that they actually have access to playing them. Amongst those characters being, as mentioned earlier, Jack from Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the Tekken side, we have Brian Fury, Christy Montero, Lei, Elisa, and Lars, the two newcomers from Tekken 6.
Yeah.
Now, on the Capcom side, we have another, as mentioned earlier, Dudley.
Yeah.
Oh, yay, Dudley.
Everybody's looking forward to that. Don't you act like you're not.
We also have Elena, Sakura, Blanca. Oh yeah,
Brazil.
Oh yeah, and the other two Capcom elites, which are showing up on the DLC roster for this, from Final Fight. You know them, you love them. Metro City's hometown boys, Guy and Cody from Super Street.
Nice, very nice.
Now you see.
Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Now you see, this roster is going to be downright fantastic. The characters that are on the disc, Capcom officials have stated that they're supposed to be on the disc as a way to save on hard drive space. As sort of a compatibility update. Take into account when all the DLC was coming out for Mortal Kombat after its release.
True.
Not only were there characters, but there were also compatibility patches that you had to download to your system. With the information that's already on the disc, not only is it saving hard drive space, but it's also forwarding what has been described as their desire to not have an ultimate or a super disc-based release once those 12 characters are released.
So it at least sounds like they've learned from their mistake of Ultimate versus Marvel vs. Capcom 3. 'Cause let's all face it, that was the snafu of 2011 right there, man.
I mean, in
2012? This is the snafu of the last whatever the fuck it was.
In a way, it's like Street Fighter 4 and Super Street Fighter 4, where you do have the disc-based release. However, what it seems like they might be doing is that they might also have a digital download only, so that way you still will be downloading, at the very least the codes to unlock all of the information for those characters. But while the characters and certain other bits of information for each character are on the disc, the remaining information as far as the fine-tuning, as far as certain patches that are going to be necessary once they release this fall anyway, it'll only be a small packet as far as that download. Or let's say if it's just the 12 characters coming out, then it's very likely that you can actually pick which of the characters that you want to buy, or at least which team that you want to buy, because the characters are going to be split into teams of 2.
And I would think at some point in time they're going to just say, hey, do you want the whole pack for $5?
Exactly.
Which I wouldn't mind waiting on that myself because, as we all know, I am frugal, i.e. miserly. But, gotta save your money somewhere, especially nowadays. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, hell, that makes 2 of us, and I'll say it right out, I'm just a cheap bastard.
Oh, he came out and say it. Now, the one thing that I would love to discuss in a future podcast sometime is the legalities of electronic download versus if that motherfucker's already on the disc, you know what I mean? I can understand, and I can actually even approve of a little. I might change my mind on this later, but I can even approve of the idea that all those characters are on there for unlocking, and that's okay, but you still own the downloads, and you still own what's on the disc. You bought the fucking disc, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although there are numerous ways that Capcom, as a whole, and in particular, most recently, Yoshinori Ono, the director behind this, there are some ways that they have shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
But there are actually some pros as far as how they're going about this, as far as the general business model. Because again, let's take the DLC content, the characters, the 12 characters. My God, that is an expansive roster update. That is a Super Street Fighter 4 roster update right there.
But it is not a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 roster. I do have to point out that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 didn't have DLC. You know what it had? It had 500 characters with 100 backgrounds, and it was done on the NES 8-bit, and it was excellent. I'm just saying.
A bit of exaggeration there, but you all get the idea. But, even so, the characters are on the disc. When they're released and when the public actually can get the chance to buy them officially, you own it.
Good.
You buy the characters, you own it. Let's say you decide to buy Lars, Brian, and Cody. You own those 3. So long as you still have the data on your system, so long as you can transfer that data, let's say if you pick up a new PS3, you want to transfer that to the larger hard drive. You transfer that, everything goes with you.
What about Xbox 360 owners?
Xbox 360 owners, there's still the data transfer. There's still possibilities to transfer data from one hard drive to a larger one. Let's say again, if you buy another system with a larger hard drive, you get the transfer cable, you get the disc to actually start the program. Boom, go for it.
What about the glorious PC Master Race? We got to include everybody.
Well, as far as PC customers go, speaking of which, there should be a PC release of this out on the shelves, if not now.
Did you hear that, you glorious demigods? Check it out.
If it's not out now, it will be out this fall when the PlayStation Vita version releases, and that one, much to my everlasting chagrin, will already have the 12 characters and the expanded roster right there for So you bastards with the money that were actually able to shell out the money for the PlayStation Vita, this fall you'll get your handheld fix. Enough said.
Get your loving grits on it, baby. That's the shit right there. I think we're actually coming down to a winding point of the conversation. I think we're just gonna chillax, play some of this game, and then go get our asses whooped at our local tilt. What? You don't have a tilt near your place? Well, then we'll be doing an extra podcast when we're over there. What's the team's name? What are we called?
We are the United Fighters Group. Look us up on youtube.com/United Fighters Group 2012.
Team UFG whooping ass. We'll be over there representing the Hooligans naturally, and also Team UFG, doing a lot of screaming, a lot of commentating, mostly screaming. Now, I should have the sound bites up soon, but if I don't, I'll be having them up tonight, where we actually did this last week and got blindsided by a couple of local models. Not even joking with you. It's good for a brother. So, for what it's worth, unless there are any closing comments that need to be made?
Actually, I say we should be about ready to sign off. We're already coming up on 420, so we got to get everything packed and get ready for the tournament. So, on behalf of that bastard from Bellingham, this is your boy Blazing Ace, UFG Haggard 360. We'll see you guys over at the Killer Crossover at the Bellingham Tilt.
Respect the lead pipe. We out.